What up, what up, what up? It's your boy JB coming right back at you. Welcome back to the channel, man. What Jameis Winston needs to stop doing. The one mistake Jameis keeps making. Now, guys, I don't know if y'all saw the Monday Night Football game. Jameis threw for roughly 500 yards, man. Had a hell of a game as far as setting the franchise records for for passing yards thrown in a game. But the one problem Jameis has, he needs to leave religion and God out of his press conferences and his interviews. Now, guys, I'm originally from North Carolina, grew up in the Bible Belt. I love God to death. But what Jameis has to understand is what he's been taught and how he's been taught is not of value in his business. He's in a performance-based business. Now, y'all saw Jameis threw that pick six. And Jameis got in the press conference afterwards and said, Lord, deliver me from pick sixes. Well, Jameis, that has nothing to do with God. This is a performance-based business. The only thing that's going to deliver you from pick sixes is not invoking scriptures and the platitudes you've been taught to say at church. What you got to do, man, is get in the film room and practice with your wide receivers. That's what this really comes down to, man. You got to see the field better. You got to make sure that you are spending time with these receivers. You got to make sure you're spending time with the defensive backs. Don't invoke God on this stuff because it makes a mockery of the people who believe in God. And guess what, guys? If you don't believe me, go Google any article from any reputable website that reports on sports. And nobody is talking about the fact of the God thing he keeps saying. They keep it about his performance. Now, on the YouTube channels and on Instagram, they clip it up and they show you all the stuff where they're making fun of him for how he does these interviews. And that's not the point of God, right? God said, your gift will make room for you and bring you before great men. Jameis, God has done his job. You're playing football at the highest level. He's brought you in this room. He's prepared a table for you. Now you got to actually do the work. God is not there for the touchdown and God ain't there for the turnover. God gave you the opportunity, which is what he told you he would do. Now you got to get in there, get into that film room, and you got to get in there with your receivers, and you got to get in there with your offensive coordinator, and you got to get with the defensive coordinator. You keep throwing interceptions because you don't understand defenses. You ain't throwing interceptions because you don't understand offense. So you need to do these things that the greats have done. Call Tom Brady and ask him to be your mentor. Call Joe Montana and ask him to be your mentor. These are the things we need to do naturally because God is supernatural. So God can only amplify what you're doing in the natural. I can't deliver you from pick sixes if you don't understand the scheme and you keep throwing it. I can amplify it, but I can't deliver you from it. And that's what I'm trying to tell people. And I'm going to end this video with this, guys. What I think Jameis need to do, instead of invoking God and what religion taught him to say in situations like this, Jameis need to go back to being the Jameis of Florida State. Because I remember watching a guy lead Florida State to a national championship. I remember this guy not throwing interceptions like that. Now, y'all know I live in Tampa, so I watched Jameis his whole rookie year before he got traded away from Tampa. And when he started going to church and started getting into religion, his performance started dropping. God, when you get to know God, it doesn't replace what you do professionally. It means you get more intuitive with your profession. You don't start saying, oh, I'm gonna study this Bible more than I'm gonna study my playbook. You're on the top level of this sport. You're playing in the NFL. I'm all about you loving God and having God at the forefront. But God is also a God of yeast. Now, Jameis can go back to his Florida State days, guys, and you're gonna see something completely different. He wasn't doing all the extra stuff, all the religious stuff at Florida State. You know what he was doing? He was being free. Now, he made a lot of mistakes, but he also won a national championship. I think Jameis should do exactly what he did at Florida State, minus all the crab legs and all the stuff he yelled in the cafeteria and all that. But he needs to go back and realize that he's an athlete and he has the talent, but he has to stop invoking religion and God when he fails, when he wins, and all this kind of stuff, because this comes down to preparation. Because clearly this guy has the talent, he has the ability, but he needs to increase his presence with the defensive coordinator, all that kind of stuff. Do more stuff in the natural. instead of making a fool of yourself in these interviews by invoking these things that have nothing to do with the performance. If Jameis does that and can get back to what he was at Florida State, where Jimbo Fisher was allowed to win a championship, and guess what, guys? If y'all don't think Jameis was any good, Jimbo Fisher ain't won another championship since Jameis Winston. We know Jameis Winston can be good, but whoever his spiritual mentor is and all this kind of stuff that he dealing with to make him sound like this, they got it all wrong. He needs somebody who gonna tell him to get in that playbook. I love Deion Sanders, right? Deion Sanders quote more scriptures than anybody else, but ain't nobody working and being more cognizant of what's going on with his team and making adjustments than Deion Sanders. And I think Deion Sanders need to be a mentor for Jameis Winston as well. Do all this stuff I said, and what you gonna realize, Jameis, is then God is really gonna be glorified without you even saying it. Because nobody questions your love for God. They question your ability to process this game at this level. And that never happened at Florida State, which is why you were the #1 pick when you came out in the draft. Y'all get down in the conversation. Y'all get down in the comments, man. Let me know what y'all think about this video, man. Is Jeff crazy or is Jeff on to something, man? Y'all let me know. I ain't trying to offend anybody. I love God just as much as everybody else, but I also know as a businessman, you got to be on top of your game all the time. Get down in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think, man. Is Jeff crazy or is Jeff on to something? If you hadn't already, mash that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn on that bell for notifications, and until next time, I'm gonna holler.